Hello friends, in today's video we are going to continue with our cooking series in our Vlogtober series, a series within a series I guess, and we are going to be making a very cozy, comforting soup that is delicious. It's very, very easy. It can be carb free if you want it, and I will tell you those options or substitutions. And it's also dairy free if you want it to be. And this soup is called Zuppa Toscana, and apparently this is a very popular soup at Olive Garden, from what I understand. I got this recipe out of my Trim Healthy Mama cookbook, but I'm not going to take a picture of the recipe because I change it up quite a lot from what the recipe calls. The recipe is for a huge amount of soup, so I cut the recipe in half, and I don't put the same ingredients, not all of the same ingredients in it that they do. It calls for okra, which I am not a fan of okra, and they make theirs so it's carb free or low carb, and they use cauliflower instead of potatoes, but my family much prefers potatoes, so I'm going to be putting potatoes in this soup. But to start off with, I've got a pound of sausage in the pan, and I'm browning it up. And once this is almost brown, I'm going to be adding some onion and garlic to it. While that meat is browning, I am going to get the rest of the ingredients in my crock pot. Oh, if I didn't mention it, this is a crock pot meal. That's the other thing I do differently than the recipe. They just cook it on top of the stove. Oops, sorry, I bumped the camera. But I am going to do it in the crock pot. Just makes life easier this way. On a busy day, throw this together in the morning, and by supper time, it is ready to go. So to this crock pot, I'm going to add 3 cans of low sodium chicken broth. I like using the low sodium because just nobody needs as much sodium as we have in our diets these days. So 3 cans of low sodium chicken broth. You can use the kind that's in the carton if you want to. You can also use bone broth. That would make it even better. And then you add 1 cup of water. And I will adjust the liquid accordingly if I think I need more when I get all the other ingredients in here. And then you're going to add 1 bag of frozen chopped spinach. I'm going to add a little water to the bag and rinse that out. Don't want to miss all that yummy goodness. And then I'm going to add some frozen, these were frozen, I had prepared these myself. These are just diced potatoes that I had diced up and put in my freezer. You can use fresh potatoes diced up, and that's about a pound of potatoes. I might add a few more at the end. I got a few left in the bag. I might add to that if I decide it needs it. And then we're going to add some seasoning to this: salt, pepper, garlic powder, and red pepper flakes. And while it says in the recipe to just season it to your taste, so I'm just going to put stuff in, however much, usually about, I don't know, I'm just going to add stuff. But while I'm adding the seasoning, I'm going to ask you a couple of more fall-related trivia questions. And the first one is, do you have any fall traditions? I don't really have, I mean, when the kids were little, we would make sure and go to the pumpkin patch. They would paint pumpkins. We would have a fall festival at the church where they would get to, dress up in costumes and things like that. But now, not so much. I don't really have a whole lot of traditions. I do still like to go to either a pumpkin patch or an apple orchard, just to get decor for my front deck. Of course, I do have the tradition now of doing a fall home decor tour here on my channel, and also like decorate with me's, and so that's kind of a traditional thing that I do. But yeah, not so much anymore. It's kind of sad, but don't really do a whole lot. We have a lot more traditions for Christmas and New Year's, but not so much for fall. I mean, unless you want to consider Thanksgiving part of our fall traditions, I guess that would be appropriate. We like to watch the dog show on Thanksgiving Day. We have all of the traditional dinner things, turkey, dressing, mashed potatoes, gravy. I have a traditional Jell-O salad that I make that's got cranberries in it. And I guess the biggest tradition that we do for Thanksgiving is that I make my mother's yeast rolls, and I only make them for Thanksgiving. So that's what makes them so special. And my family looks forward to them every single year, and they just devour them. So I guess, yeah, if you're considering including Thanksgiving, then yes, that's our main tradition. While I was working on that crock pot, the meat has gotten browned. And to this, I'm going to add, again, you can add fresh onion if that's what you prefer, but I'm just going to use my dehydrated onion. Let me throw some onion in here. And also some of my minced garlic. If you were using fresh onion, you would cook this until the onion is soft. But since I am using the dehydrated kind, I'm just gonna kind of cook this till it's well combined and heated through. The onions will rehydrate in the soup. So while I'm doing this, I will ask the second question. What is your favorite fall comfort food? Oh, I just like all the soups. I really do. I do like soup. I don't get to do soup too much because my family, well, I should say Travis and Olivia. Scott likes soup. But Travis and Olivia, they're kind of picky about their soups. They do love this soup. They love potato soup. But other than that, they're not a huge soup fan. But I do love a nice hot bowl of creamy potato soup. And if I have time, I make a nice, lovely, homemade, crusty bread to go alongside of it. And we have the bread while it's still warm with butter on it and a nice big bowl of potato soup. That is my comfort food. I think of that as the perfect thing on a nice cold, chilly winter or fall night. Not winter too, but a fall night. All right, so this is ready. We're going to go ahead and add this to the crock pot now. Okay, so we're just going to add all of this to the crock pot. Make sure you scrape all those yummy onion bits and garlic bits out of there. And we mix this all in, and it looks to me like I have just enough vegetables and just enough broth, so I'm not going to adjust that at all. So then I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on this. I'm going to cook it. You can cook it on high for just a few hours, or you can cook it on low all day. I am going to start it off on high until it starts to really get hot, and then I'll turn it down to low. And then right before you serve it, you add one more ingredient. So when I'm just about ready to serve this, I'll bring you back and we'll add that final ingredient. All right, this has been cooking all day, bubbling away, and I just turned it down on low for the last little bit before it's time to eat. And then the last ingredient you're going to add is some heavy cream. And of course I'm going to be using my dairy-free Ripple, about half a cup. I think I have about half a cup left in this jar, so I'm just going to dump the rest of this in. Give this a nice little stir. Makes it look nice and creamy and delicious. So we'll be dishing this up very soon for supper, and I will show you what it looks like in my bowl. And here it is, all done and dished up in our bowl. I always dish it up a little bit early because it's super duper hot when it comes out of that crock pot. And we do like to eat it with some oyster crackers. That is our preferred way of eating this soup. This soup is very good. It's light. It's not heavy, but it's very hearty. And that amount of soup that I made was enough for us to be full for supper and then have a lunch the next day with it. And it was just a delicious soup. The kids, I call them kids, you know what I mean, my kids, grown kids, the whole family really loves this soup, and it's healthy for you. It's low carb, and it's just a very, very delicious soup. And like I said, it can be dairy-free, or if you can do dairy, it would be great with some half and half regular dairy, half and half at the end. Scott and Travis like to put shredded Parmesan cheese on theirs as well. All right, friends, if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you've been enjoying Vlogtober, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know if you're going to make this soup or a version of this soup, or if you have a version of your own. I'd be very interested to know. We will talk to you tomorrow, friends, with another brand new video for Vlogtober. Bye-bye, friends.